Today we are looking at the S.H Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon. I knew I had to pick this one up because Yu-Gi-Oh is such a big part of my childhood. I used to watch the show and collect the cards, and me and my friends had used to always sort of trade the cards and battle each other. So I had to pick this one up. I did see it when I went to Japan a few months ago, but I didn't end up getting it. I got a few other figures instead, and I kind of regretted not picking this one up. So I decided to order one, and it's finally arrived. So we'll take a look at the box here. You've got a nice picture of the Blue Eyes White Dragon here on the front, as well as some Egyptian hieroglyphs here in the back. I'm guessing that's probably from the Pharaoh's tablet, I think. We'll just spin the box around. Have another cool image of the blue eyes there on the side, and some more images here on the back. And you can have a look at the figure there. Also, the accessory that it comes with in there. So we'll get this one opened up and we'll take a closer look. So I'll release him from his plastic tomb and we'll get him out. So we'll take a look at some of the accessories and other parts that come with the figure. Well, the only accessory that you really get is this beam effect, which is the Blue Eyes' white lightning attack, similar to what you get with the S.H Figuarts Dragon Ball figures, like a Kamehameha effect. You do have these little beam parts that shoot off on the side here. It does come with a few of those already attached, but there's 3 or 4 other pieces that you just got to fit on. You do actually get some instructions if you're not too sure where they fit onto, but pretty straightforward. But you do have that to reference. It is, I think, it is in Japanese, but it's got some pictures here. You also have some pictures of the display stand, which this figure also comes with. So here is the base of the display stand, and you have some other parts that fit on. We'll have a closer look at the stand a bit later. I want to get my hands on the figure and have a closer look at that. So let's take a closer look at Blue Eyes here. Start off with his head. I have to say, it's very, very nice quality. It's got this the whole figure's got this nice metallic finish to it. Just looks really nice. Now I'd imagine the creature to actually look. So yeah, we'll start off with the head here. You can see the detail there. Its jaw is articulated so it can open. It is actually on a ball joint. You can move it in a few different directions if you want to. The tongue is also on a ball joint, but can't really move it that much. And tongue is slightly purple as well, which is a cool feature. Does have this very long neck, which really helps with articulation, so you can bend it into almost any position. It can go back really far, go forward pretty far as well. You can get him into some really cool poses if you wanted to. It does have movement in the shoulder here and another ball joint in the arm. You do have to be a bit careful because you do have some parts here which could rub against each other. There's no articulation in the claws, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not too bad. Of course, you do have articulation in his torso. You can move it back and forward. I like what they've done with the wings as well. So you split into a few different sections. So if you really wanted to spread his wing out, you could lift it up and then just adjust those separate sections so you don't have any gaps. I quite like this. I think it's a really big improvement if you compare it to something like Rathalos, when I was messing about with his wings, they would tend to fall off quite often. But there's no other parts to attach onto this figure, so they're not designed to come off, which I think probably helps with posing and the other parts not falling off. So his wings do move up and down, but depends on what way you have the wings facing, where you want the ball joint to move. Do have some articulation there in the hips. You can kick out. No articulation in the claws here. You can move its foot around. And a nice articulated tail. Just really love the overall look of this figure. It is awesome. I'm very happy I got this. I want to get him into some poses. Then we'll have a bit of a play around with him. Get him into some poses. See if he can stand without the support stand. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, you probably know where this pose is from, but trying to go for the pose that you see on the first edition of the card. So I actually have a few Blue Eyes cards here, so I went for this sort of pose. Guess it's close enough. I've tried to get as close as I could to this. Do have some other Blue Eyes cards as well, which can also work for poses. This is probably one of my least favourite artworks for the card. Also got this one here, which is, I'd probably say, my second favourite. The first one being the original release. I knew I had to have him posed up like this when I got him. He is really, really nice to pose. Nothing falls off. Everything moves how you'd want it to. It just flows really well. Probably think this is one of the best S.H Figure Arts model I've got in my collection at the moment, or the best dragon that they've released. I know they're going to release Red Eyes soon, so I'll pick that one up, then I'll compare him with the Blue Eyes. Now I've started collecting them. I don't want to miss out on any more releases, so definitely have to get that Red Eyes when it comes out. It does actually stand really well, really easily without the use of his support stand. If you know how to, if you get the figure balanced properly, you can get him to stand without the use of any support, which is really good. I'll bring in another dragon from S.H Monsterarts and we'll compare that to this guy. So we got the Rathalos here. Try and fit these two in together. Here we have them both side by side. I think in terms of body, they're both, I'd say, the same sort of length, but Rathalos's wings are definitely much bigger, much longer wings, but fairly comparable in size. Obviously, this one's based off an anime and Rathalos is based off a game, so looks wise they're going to be a bit different, as well as in terms of detail. One is meant to look more realistic, but yeah, these two look pretty cool together. So here we have Blue Eyes on his support stand. So you have this little base part that fits on here, which supports the base of the figure. It actually slots in really nicely between some of the armor plating on the belly of the figure. So it sits there really securely. Now you've got these two bits here on the side for the wings. The wings are pretty secure without these. And if you have them really high up, you might just need these to prop up the wings a little bit, but in the pose that I have him now, I don't really need these parts. And the wing will just sit in. There's a little slot here, so the wing will just sit in there. Now the blast effect does peg into this stand here, so you can have him shooting his white lightning attack, which looks really cool. You can have a look there from the side. So you could just take these parts off if you wanted to, but I just kept them on for now in case I needed them. But in this pose that I have him in now, don't really need those supports on the side. And he's really stable on this stand because it fits really well onto the base of the figure, so I really like that. Overall, I think this is a fantastic figure. I'm really happy with it. I'm so glad that I picked this one up. The sculpt, the articulation, it's just, I think it's perfect. There's not really anything bad that I can say about it. It's easy enough to pose, nothing falls off. Maybe you could have done with some articulation on the hands and on the claws. But apart from that, there's nothing that I would change on this figure. I think the posability is great. Detail's great. I love the color on this. Got some blues transitioning into whites and a nice metallic finish to the figure, as you'd imagine this monster would look. Detail is great, and it takes me back to my childhood seeing this monster. Just reminds me of all those times I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards and was training with my friends, so it brings back a lot of good memories for me. So maybe a bit biased there, but looking at other people's reviews, they're fairly positive as well. So I think it's a great figure. If you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, this is a must-have. I don't think I've seen anything this articulation, this quality of Blue Eyes White Dragon, so it's probably the best one out there at the moment. I'm excited to get the Red Eyes Black Dragon when that comes out. So we'll take a look at that one when it gets released and compare it, see if they made any changes, any improvements. But I think this is great. This is a really cool figure. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it to anyone that likes collecting S.H Monsterarts and wants to get into some of the other lines like Yu-Gi-Oh as they're just starting out. I think this is the first monster they've released from Yu-Gi-Oh. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it is. I don't recall seeing anything else, but really excited to see what they'll release next. Of course, Yu-Gi-Oh, you have thousands of monsters, so they could literally release anything. I'm excited for Red Eyes, and I'd love to see some other monsters as well. Maybe like Dark Magician, or maybe even the Egyptian gods. Those would be really cool to see. So yeah, there's so many possibilities of figures that they can release. So it's really exciting, and I look forward to seeing what else we get from this line. Yeah, overall, I'm very, very pleased with this and would highly recommend it. I love the figure. It's amazing. Please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, I'll add some images of the figure at the end of the video. Thank you.